Hi guys, I wanted to share with you how I made this piece of decor for my apartment. This is a piece that is going to be sitting outside my door for summer, spring, summer. I don't know, I might switch it out and do a different one a little bit later on because it's really not that difficult to do, and I want to share that with you on how it's not very difficult. So what I'm going to do first off is I want to do the paper napkin on the bottom portion, and then the top portion I'm going to keep separate, the roof area. I'm going to go ahead, although I could just go ahead and put my tape across here, I'm going to go ahead and measure it and make sure that I have um, my tape line nice and level. All right, I like that. We'll go with that. Go ahead and get my tape. And we're just going to lay it above that line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paint this bottom portion with the chalk paint, the white chalk paint, and I'm also going to paint the sides and the back. First, let's try and go ahead and get this off. Just going to heat up this label, try and peel it off. Okay. And not much sticky left, but let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So I'm going to speed this part up with painting, and then I'll come back to you. And just a word of caution, if you're not used to using a heat gun or a heat tool, that you should not hold it too close and should always keep it moving. Otherwise, if you're using it on paint, the paint will blister. And if you're kind of afraid to do that, then you could just sit and wait and let it air dry. I was not too concerned about overbleed on this because I am painting this a different color. So now we're going to move on and go ahead and take this off. Nice clean line. So now we're going to lay down another strip of tape below that line. And I'm going to paint this section, the second story, the green, and then the roof line is going to have a different color, but I don't want this to be a solid color. I want it to be kind of a wash. So I'm going to take this little cup and I'm going to put a little bit of water in it. Just mix up my paint in here. I want a little bit of that wood to show through. Okay. Okay, so next we're going to do the roof line. And again, I want this to be more of a wash. So another little cup. So we're going to do the gray. Again, I want the wood to show through. but I don't want it to be plain. So we're going to go with gray. I'm not too worried about the edges because I am going to be doing something with that. So if I have just a little bit of overlap, it doesn't matter. I want to finish all the painting before I move on to the napkin because, you know, bad things can happen with ruining the napkin if I'm still trying to paint. So I'll go move on to the next part. Okay, welcome back. What I decided is I needed to have a little bit of something here, so I created this outline of a window, and I'm going to go ahead and sketch that out a little bit more, and I'll come back when I have that done, and then we'll go ahead and move on from there. Okay, I've sketched that a little bit more. You can see that there. And I'm going to go ahead and paint that. I'm going to be introducing another color, which I didn't even think about beforehand. But this is, you know, I'm doing this on the fly, so figuring it out as I go and taking you along for the crazy fun. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that, and we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully it's good and I don't have to paint over it. Next thing we're going to add is, I think I'd like to have some greenery or something growing up the side, so, or around the windows. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use this stylus. And again, you don't have to do this. You could use a paintbrush. I feel like I have more control with this when it comes to doing leaves and that sort of thing. And all I do, let's see if I can do this so that you can actually see it, is I set the stylus down and pull away. That's all I do. Okay, now comes the final step. And it's going to be using this napkin. And what you want to do is you need to separate out the layers of napkin. I think this one only has 2. Okay. I have to decide. I know I want the bird. I think kind of like that is the way I'm going to have it go. So I'm going to cut out just 1/4 of the panel. All right. Now you're going to want to take Mod Podge. I haven't even opened this yet. This is a tiny little bottle. I got this from Dollar Tree. I'm going to put a decent amount on there. I lost my audio on this section, so let's do a voiceover. What I'm doing is I'm placing the napkin where I want it to be, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover that with a piece of parchment paper. Once the parchment paper is in place, then I will take my iron and I will iron over that. The heat from the iron will reactivate the Mod Podge and get the napkin to stick. Also, ironing it this way ends up getting a lot of the wrinkles out. And then you'll take your sanding sponge or whatever you have to sand with, and you just sand along the edges. And now I'm going to cover it with some more Mod Podge. I'm going to do the whole thing with the Mod Podge as my finish. We're going to go ahead and take the twine, and I'm going to start wrapping it around this segment here. Okay, I ran out of storage on my phone, so here were the final steps that I made to this piece. You saw me wrapping the twine around where the napkin and the painted top portion were, and I ended up using a little hot glue to make sure that that covered the edge of the napkin. Then I went ahead and I made a little bow out of some extra twine, and then I took a little key charm that I had and I added that to the center. Then as my last step to go ahead and make this look a little bit more rustic and a little aged, I took some brown paint and I dry brushed it around the edges, just the edges on both the bottom and the top of the piece, so it ended up looking just a little bit more aged. Okay, final analysis, it's growing on me. I wasn't too sure about doing green on the top and the blue on the bottom. Blue is my primary color in my decor by my front door right now, so that's why I went that way. I will probably be doing some more of these, either a house shape or a different wooden shape and different decor, like I'll do something that is patriotic for the 4th of July and Memorial Day. I'll probably do something that's more late summer, like sunflowers or something along those lines. And I won't go ahead and do a tutorial again. The steps you take are pretty much going to be the same no matter what. But I'll probably do a time lapse of each different one that I make. I thank you for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any suggestions of something that you would like to see, please let me know. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.